I got my start as an artist when I was probably in grade school. My parents enrolled me in summer programs and community things, and I always loved that. But it wasn't until high school when I had a really wonderful instructor in our art program. And although I think back in the 60s people were learning how to express themselves in art, he was classically trained. And I guess I realized that it wasn't just the old masters who painted like this, that there were people now who did that. And at that time I thought, well, maybe I can do this too then. I had no idea that a person could make a living in art. I didn't know anyone who made a living in art other than my teacher. And so when I was in my early 50s, I started taking classes. I continued to take workshops and videos, and I spend a lot of time looking at artists and looking at their websites. I've always got my phone with me, so I'm taking photos of anything that sparks my interest. And I paint from a monitor. I paint those photos from a monitor. I generally like to paint on a hard surface, so I paint on board or canvas on board, linen on board, just because it gives me a better chance to paint a realistic painting. The beauty is in the details for me, so I really like to bring that out, and painting on a hard surface helps me do that. I was out in my garden trimming my tomato plants and lopped off a branch that had 3 good tomatoes on it, but I noticed that it had a really graceful arc, and the leaves were lovely. And so I took it to my studio, and that one I at least started from life. But I am a slow painter, and so I ended up completing it with photos. I look at the artists that I admire, and sometimes I try out their style in one of my paintings. And so my style isn't always maybe recognizable because it varies, but realism is a constant.